We will discuss first the concept or the database system concepts, or we call it as conceptual data model. And eventually we will discuss about the architecture. Okay, this is only good for 10 slides. Okay, so what you will learn here is the concept behind modern database architecture. When you say modern database architecture, it pertains to the uh, the uh, the architecture or the blueprint of a database, or simply as the conceptual design and physical design. So when you say conceptual design, what is the concept behind uh, a system, how it works? Okay, for example, for enrollment system, how enrollment system works, what are the steps going on inside the enrollment system, since we are going to develop a database for enrollment system, for payroll system, for inventory system, for movie rental system, for hospital system, and many other kind of information system or computer-based information system. Okay. So also we will be familiarized with data models. Categorically, we have two categories when it comes to data model. We have the conceptual, like I said earlier, and the physical one, the physical structure of the database. How data is being stored uh, from a client side or a front end application to uh, the server. So there is a communication or uh, communication with between the client and the server. So how the client sends his or his request to the server and be able to retrieve it from the server. Okay, there is a communication between the server, between the client, the server, and the database or the database management system. Okay, and we will discuss the three schema architecture. This is the physical one, the physical structure of a database. How data is being stored inside the database or on your computer. There can be physical server or a cloud server provided by the cloud service provider. And then some of the types of database languages, okay, also called the SQL language. SQL stands for anyone. What is SQL? It's an acronym for anyone. It's an acronym for Structured Query Language. This is a standard query language used by many database management systems like Oracle, SQL Server. We also have MySQL. Those are some of the common database management system or relational database management system, and even Microsoft Access. Okay, again, Microsoft Excel is not part of DBMS. It's a spreadsheet only used to calculate or used to compute something. Okay, but you can do payroll system using Microsoft Excel, but it's not that accurate as DBMS is. Okay. And then some interfaces, or shall we say database application, where we can apply database. Okay. So we can apply it in a website, okay, that will engage user or that will communicate with the website by signing up, signing in, registration forms. Once you create, for example, in social media, once you create your own account, so that's partly you access or you eventually communicate with the server or with the website by entering your personal informations, your profile, creating your user account, and so on. Or once you would like to purchase, since pandemic, you can purchase products online. Okay, it's either through Shopee, Lazada, eBay, Amazon, and some other online selling sites. And you can use this also for mga in-house applications like in hospital, like hospital billing, okay, online consultations in a hospital since we are still in pandemic, we are still in quarantine, etc. Okay, so there are a lot of database system or database applications that are being used, okay, sa industry or sa market. Okay. So first topic will be we will define what is data models, schemas, and instances. So when you say data abstraction, present it to the client or to your client or maybe to your project manager for approval. Okay. So this blueprint is totally hidden from the user. They don't know the concept behind the database system. Okay, that's why we have the data model. It's a blueprint of the entire database or the structure of a database. So this is hidden from the user, from the end user or from the client. Okay. Database structure consists of the following. We have the data types, relationships, and constraints. Only database designer is allowed to know this one kasi siya yung gagawa ng database. Building the blueprint. Okay, we have to identify the entities, attributes, and the relationships. As I mentioned earlier, I mentioned about entities. Okay, when I demonstrate earlier yung sa ER diagram, we have the entities, attributes, and the relationships. Like earlier, we have doctor and patient. So what is the relation between doctor and patient? The entities, what? What is the relation? Doctor attends to patient. How many patients? So one doctor, many patient. Okay. So that's the relation between two entities. We call it as relationships. Okay. So entities can be a person, it can be an object, it can be an event within the system or inside the organization. So for example, we're going to develop a university online enrollment system. What are the things needed or what are the materials needed to be able to create a database? We need to identify the entities or who are the person, what are the objects or what are the events being used in enrollment system. We have to identify the entities. We have also to identify the attributes. Attributes means characteristic of an or entity. For example, for doctor, what are the characteristics of a doctor? The doctor ID, we assign the doctor ID, the doctor name, the specialization, okay, those things are under the attributes of a doctor. For patient, we have the patient information, the patient name, the diagnosis, the prescriptions, okay, those are under the patient entities. Okay. So next we have database schema. Database schema is just simply as description of a database. Okay, we identify the table and field names or column name to be used in a database, just like this one. I just show you an example of a data model. This is just a conceptual data model wherein, for example, we're going to develop an enrollment system. We have to list down the entities. We have the entities student and subject. So this is just an example. And then what are the attributes of student? So to be able to have a student record, we need to identify the student ID or simply as USN. We'll should list down also student first name, his student last name, course, section, semester, and school year. And then for subject, we have course ID and course description. Those are the attributes of an entity after having that design. So we have the physical structure of particular database. For a particular database, so we have the client server communication. We transmit requests or data or shall we say information from the client side or simply as the personal computer. We are using PC or laptop or mobile phone that you would like to access your account or even accessing your own social media by signing in to your account, and then that means you are requesting to access your account, to open your account. So the process will be the client will transmit this request to the server, and then the server will check or to verify or to validate if your account is valid or not. If you enter a correct username and password. But if you are a hacker, you are already doing the brute force. Okay, you are trying to open an non-existing or existing one, which is not your own account. Or let's say you search for a specific keyword in uh, sa search engines like Google, so ganun, same process. So they will send it to server and the server will filter, not read, but filter, filtering your messages and then transmit it to database for validation. Okay, and then if valid, the database will then send it back to the server and then the server will transmit it to the sender. So we have the sender and the receiver. This server can only serve as mediator between the client and the database server. So it can be physical or cloud server. So that's a three-tier architecture. When it comes to designing a database, so we need the following languages. We call it as SQL commands or SQL languages. We have DDL, DML, DCL, and transaction control language. For DDL, this is a user-defined commands like create database, create table, alter table to define the data,